speaker is Mr. Marc-Antoine Astier. He's an old boy, and that makes him special. Welcome, Marc-Antoine. It's usual when introducing a guest speaker to give a long list of a person's qualifications and their achievements, and I'm not going to do that tonight. I want to share with you rather something of Mr. Astier's character, something that he shares with his three brothers, all of whom are here tonight, the youngest of which is with us in matric. And I, for one, will be very sad when the last Astier has left our school, except that I think in many ways they will never leave St. Charles College. So he has some things about Mr. Marc-Antoine Astier. He is, well, he's French, first of all, and that's also special. As you know, the French have a charm all of their own, so that's one thing about him. He is courageous, something that he shares with his three brothers. He's adventurous. He is independent in his thought, and he always has been, ever since I've known him. He is creative. He's loyal to his family, I think to his beliefs. And I think probably most profoundly, he's loving in the best possible way. I've seldom seen four brothers love each other in the way that the Astier brothers love each other. And for all of those reasons, he's special, and that is why we have him as our guest speaker tonight. Welcome, Mr. Marc-Antoine Astier. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Schuberger. I was genuinely expecting to get roasted for a second there. A little surprised that nothing, it was just loving words. I'm a little bit thrown off my game. I was kind of getting ready to fight back. Good evening, students, matrics, parents, the staff of St. Charles College, and friends and my brothers. Tonight is going to be about learning. I know I'm going to be talking to the matrics because that's what we're going to do. But it's going to be about learning. Okay, so first of all, let me begin with an apology. It has been 12 years, 13 years since I've left this beautiful land of yours, South Africa, which I miss very dearly. I have also lost my beautiful South African accent and replaced it. But throughout my travels, I've been around the world quite a lot, from Argentina to the United States, to Singapore, to China, Thailand, Iran, Egypt, and most importantly, Japan, which is my current home. Rest assured, however, that I still use the word "how's it." I would like to do a lakabrai, and I call everybody "but" without exception. I've got a friend from Australia who calls everybody "mate." We make everybody confused, we love it. Any chance I get to the looks of confusion from Americans and Japanese. I would like to take a moment to thank Mr. Van Blok, which has invited me to talk to you tonight. He, as well as a lot of the staff present here tonight, know just how much this speech night means to my brothers and I. We've grown up here at St. Charles, and St. Charles has shaped much of who we've become as adults. I thank you, Mr. Van Blok, as well as the rest of the staff who spent so much energy on us, because I know that us Astiers are a really difficult bunch to handle. Students, I've sat through enough speech nights in my day that I know that this part, the guest speakers, seems to drag on forever. I know. I know that the grade 11s are just kind of like, who's the kid? Just move on, who's the head boy? Just... I know. I used to be that. I know. I also know that the metrics are like, come on, move on. Pot and barrel, come on. But the main reason I'm going to keep it short tonight is that Mr. Riley told me that he would tackle me if I'm too long. I'm a little bit scared, so I'm going to make it short. Believe it or not, matrics, believe it or not, I can relate to you. Matrics, I'm also going to be talking to the grade 8s. We named the matrics because they're the first one out the doors, And believe it or not, I relate to you guys. My youngest brother, Paul Arthur, you know well, he's sitting amongst you. I am 12 years older. I am 31. That is 1 year older than PewDiePie. Okay? All right, good. So I'm just on the other side of my 20s. Okay, so you guys are about to enter, I'm just coming out of it. So I feel that I can connect to you. I'm the bridge between your parents' generation and yours. Okay, so I have, through my travels, got some interesting advice that I wish to share with you. So give me just 15 minutes. My hope is that some of the lessons I've learned from around the world will be worth your while. Okay. Lesson one is that you're never going to stop learning. I know that a lot of you are thinking, we're done, it's over, finished. No. You're going to keep learning throughout life, and this is going to be the main bulk of my speech tonight, is that you are never going to stop learning. But the good news is that hopefully you will always keep on learning things that you love to do and things that inspire you and will keep you pushing to the next level. Before I started my company at age 26, the first thing is that it's never too early to start learning about your passion. When I started my company at 26, I already had been taking photos in nightclubs in Tokyo. I was doing university at the same time. At first I wasn't getting paid. Then the organizers of the events started giving me drink tickets as payments, and eventually I started getting money. I never would have thought back when I was in my 20s, early 20 or 21, that this would lead me to my current path. It's never early enough for you to start learning about what you want to do. If something is your passion, never early enough for you guys to start going that way. You should spend as much time as possible learning everything that you can about it. The great thing is that in this area, the internet has become an amazing resource. You can, online courses, tutorials, blogs, forums, magazines, online books, there's just never-ending content for you to learn from. My main duty, let's take an example. My main duties, day in and day out, are running my businesses, doing professional commercial photography for big brands, and directing films. I've studied none of these things at university. I've learned everything on my own online, which is something that our generation are able to do. So you can kickstart your career really early by getting passionate about your interests now. Don't wait. In the best case scenario, this passion will become your job. You'll be able to make a career out of doing something that you love to learn, research, and create. In that case, always aim for the top. That's where the most exciting stuff is happening. Whether you're in the arts or in the sciences, education, public service, whatever, just always aim for the top. In the worst case scenario, this passion will become your hobby, which you'll be able to keep enjoying yourself for many, many years to come. So it's a no-lose situation. Don't wait for adults to give you permission to learn. There is, however, one exception to this, which I'll get to a little bit later. Lesson number 2. If you don't know what your calling is yet, then stay as busy as possible. The meanest things that adults can ask you is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Only a very small minority of you today know the answer to that question. And even then, a lot of you will change your mind around your mid-20s. I'm here to tell you that it's okay that you don't know yet. Do not panic. But here's the key. Until you find out what it is you want to be devoting your life to, you need to keep yourself as busy as humanly possible. Less 9gag, less video games. This is the only way that you'll be able to weed out the things that don't interest you and start to notice the areas that do. Also, it never hurts to learn general skills along the way. Here's something that might shock you. Most adults don't know what's going on. They have no clue. You get to 30 and you're like, am I an adult yet? When do I know what's going on? Like, you just... Learning basic accounting skills, how the tax system works, how the legal system works, basic first aid, how to fix a broken shelf, cook some simple meals, or write a business email correctly. These are skills that you're going to need, and that somehow most adults, irrespective of the country, usually miss on. If you don't know where your life is leading yet, is heading towards yet, then arm yourself with as many useful skills and knowledge as you can, so that by the time that you do know what you want to do, you are as close to a fully functioning adult as can be. Lesson number 3. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy peace of mind. The most important lesson I've learned around the world is that, and one that is universal, is that money does not buy happiness. You will meet many people in life that will be poorer than you and yet seem so happy. And also many people that are way richer than you and seem horribly miserable. Money is an important factor in your future, but only to provide peace of mind. My job in advertising is to make sure that you want to buy the latest Galaxy phone, that latest car, or the best credit card. If you learn to resist those urges early on, then money doesn't drive your life, only supports it. What's important is that if you have the right attitude and have learned some valuable skills, you will always be useful to somebody, and you'll be able to keep learning and pursuing your dreams instead of focusing solely on money. Lesson number 4. Nearly finished. Never be afraid of hitting rock bottom. Now this is going to take a little bit longer once the perspective sinks in. I'm sure that you've heard this one before and it's difficult to resonate. Why wouldn't I be afraid of hitting rock bottom or losing everything or starting over from nothing? The truth is that some portions of your life will inevitably be out of your control. Some people try to minimize those portions as much as possible but never get to do it fully. However, if you learn to trust yourself, your skills, your knowledge and your experience, even if you start from the beginning, you will never lose. Then you will never be paralyzed from that fear. Learn to listen and trust your gut. If you do fail, then lick your wounds, look back on where things went wrong, learn from it and move on. Again, from my experience, when I first started my company in Japan, where mistakes are way bigger than every other place in the world, I kept making some huge mistakes with clients, whether it was just in small meetings or productions. Every embarrassing mistake felt like a punch to the gut. At one point, I was so devastated by a mistake that I had made that I asked one of my mentors, who was a CEO himself, when I would stop making those mistakes. And he told me that would never be the case, but that I would become better at learning from them and minimizing the damage as I move on. There are no mistakes, just lessons. Cringy, painful lessons. Lesson 5. Stay on the right side. One of the toughest lessons that you will learn is that from time to time, hard work and talent will lose to having connections. We will see people take shortcuts to get ahead, sometimes hurting others in the process. In those moments, it is easy to become better. But you will have to learn to always aim to stay on the right side and help those around you. Back when I was in matric, my headmaster was Mr. Kun. And Mr. Kun always used to use his right hand and be like, you need to get the St. Charles core values tattooed on your right hand when you leave the school. And the core values are honesty, respect, responsibility, courage, and discipline. But here's the thing, I was always left-handed. So I was like, what's here? What are the other 5 core values? And genuinely, over the last 12 years, I've made my brothers cringe by saying that if I were ever invited to do this, I would actually talk about these. And here's something that is fun for you to do as you leave St. Charles, is that you're now going to become a full-grown man. And you're going to have to decide for yourself what your values are. The 5 ones you list at St. Charles are good, and you should keep them close to your heart. But for your other hand, you have another 5 values that you can aspire to, and you can decide on your own as to who you want to become. Let me tell you my ones from the ones that I've added to the original 5. My other 5 core values are ambition, patience, resilience, gratitude, and compassion. Ambition sounds similar to courage, but it's slightly different. Ambition gives you where you're going to go. Courage allows you to walk through there. Patience allows you to know that sometimes when you want something immediately, you're going to have to wait until you get there. Resilience allows you to fail and get back up. In Japan, there's a saying that says, fall 7 times, rise back at 8. Gratitude is an important one in that you will need to thank not just your elders, but sometimes younger people and anybody who's helped you. And finally, compassion is one that is important to always help those in need, even if you're really busy. The 6th lesson, and this is the one where unfortunately I'm going to have to get a little bit away from you guys and sign towards your parents, is that if your dream leaving this school is to become an influencer, don't. If your dreams is to have hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, then it's time to think again. I'm sorry, but I'm siding with your parents on this one. In my line of work, advertising companies use influencers all the time. I see them rising and falling back, down just as quickly. Aiming to become famous just to be famous will lead you to a sad, narcissistic, greedy, bitter, and eventually pointless life. If you must, and if you want to have your voice heard by millions, then aim to be an influencer like Neil deGrasse Tyson, the famous astrophysicist, or somebody like Steve Irwin as a zookeeper and conservationist. Find your passion and give it 100%. Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Neil Armstrong, all influencers in their own right. Get to the top of your field and gain the respect of your peers. Then, if your goal is to have your voice heard by millions, make sure that use it to educate. Make sure that you use your voice to lend a voice to important causes. Social causes we've seen both in South Africa and around the world, more than ever, important, talented, and caring influencers are needed. Or use your voice for justice, or lend it to people that don't have one. And the final lesson is learn to take care of your health. I know that you're 18, 17 now, you feel like you're invincible. This has been my biggest mistake since leaving St. Charles. At your age, you feel like you will live on forever. But time will catch up to you much sooner than you think. Work hard, but don't destroy yourself in the process. Take some time off and enjoy yourself. Learn to take care of your body, your mind, and your soul. As cheesy as that sounds. Life is all about balance. And you've got an exciting one waiting for you out there. Make the most of it. The day you stop learning is the day your life loses meaning. Life is short, get the most out of it, keep searching for your passion, and once you find it, give it your all. Now go out there, keep learning, and live your best life. Thank you.